Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I am here today with Liz Edlich. Liz Edlich is a self-made entrepreneur, published author, and philanthropist who splits her time between Little Exuma, Bahamas, and Malibu, California. She grew up on a farm in Virginia, the daughter of a world-renowned reconstructive surgeon who dedicated his life to helping others through his biomedical inventions, such as steri strips and dissolvable sutures. Inspired by her father's work, Liz put herself through college while working odd jobs and volunteering her time in the nonprofit sector. After her father was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and became paralyzed from the neck down, she saw her family come to the brink of financial ruin and was inspired to go into finance to help her family and protect others from a similar fate. With no formal education in business or finance, and through sheer determination and perseverance, she became a stockbroker and eventually a partner in an investment firm where she helped raise over $1 billion before selling the firm to a bank and going into venture capital. Eventually, this led Liz and her sister Rachel to create One World Live, a consumer marketing company that developed and launched hundreds of products for celebrities and influencers in the beauty and wellness industries. In 2009, Liz and Rachel were hit with a perfect storm when Rachel developed severe rosacea after her second child, and Liz developed adult acne and signs of aging. Their search for a solution hit a dead end, refusing to accept the unacceptable. I love that. Liz and Rachel, with the help of their father, went back to the lab with the goal of creating the most potent anti-aging skincare possible that could create visible results for Liz and heal and calm Rachel's chronic rosacea. They developed a proprietary technology that combined groundbreaking science with the power to deliver potent ingredients without irritation. They never intended to sell their healing youth elixir, but after seeing reactions to their unbelievable results, they knew it had to be shared with the world. Having no experience in international sales or retail, they brought together a dream team of chemists and talent from Clarins, Estee Lauder, Dior, and Clinique. In just 3 years, Radical Skincare launched globally into 800 prestige retail stores across 17 countries, including Harrods, Barney's, New York, Saks Fifth Avenue, and Sephora. Radical Skincare, a women-owned global powerhouse, enjoyed numerous awards and became a press darling, receiving accolades from Oprah Magazine, Elle, Cosmopolitan, and Vanity Fair. But despite working with the best brand management and retail partners in the world, Liz and Rachel knew they needed more in order to make Radical a movement that would transform not just skin, but people's lives. They knew that the best path forward wasn't in retail, but to bring Rachel into people's homes and hearts so they could share their passion and profits with other emerging entrepreneurial women like themselves. They decided to risk everything, leave the establishment, and follow the heartbeat of their mission by buying their company back and continuing the journey of fulfilling their legacy of making radical difference in the world. Their goal is to merge skincare and self-care so people can create a life-changing formula using radical skincare rituals and their book, Get Radical, Secrets to Living a Life You Love, as a guide that delivers radical results in skincare and life. Wow, wow, wow. This is the interview today to listen to. That's why even though I know the bio was long, I just wanted to read it because the whole story is so inspiring of how Liz goes from knowing nothing in all these industries and figuring out the how. So today is all about having a vision, a mission, and a purpose that you don't have to know how, and you don't have to know everything about it. Start before you are ready. There is opportunity and you're in opportunity, and adversity is always a catalyst to move you forward, to advance you. Trouble is your transportation. And for every dream, you must have belief. So you don't have to be fully there, but you need to believe and have faith. And money is an energy. I love Liz's analogy today on how to treat money. I'm going to save that for the show, but if you have any problems with spending money, justifying spending, it's all equated to your value that you see for yourself and your worth. It was so potent today when she spoke about money. I really enjoyed that. And self-care is self-love, and loving yourself a little more each and every day, so you can become the biggest, best, boldest version of yourself. And so the words I want to leave you with are vision, purpose, visualizing, dreaming, asking, believing, and receiving. Without further ado, I want to tune in to this episode with the one and only Liz Edlich of Radical Skincare. I am so excited to welcome Liz Edlich to the Sisterhood of Sweat today. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Being a sister on a mission, I'm feeling right at home already.
So much so. I like to do my homework. So I was listening to you on a few podcasts, and I really, really enjoyed your passion and how you're all about your mission and purpose. And it isn't just about you, it's about helping other people to bring them into the whole mission and the purpose. And it's a bigger mission than yourself. And that is something I can get behind. And I really think the universe gets behind something like that. How did you come to be this woman on a mission? Can you give us your backstory?
Sure. Well, that's I mean, you know, we're all on a mission, aren't we? We really are. And it's just, our mission shows up in different ways. And so for me, you know, I wasn't always in skincare. I valet parked cars for a living to put myself through college. I was a waitress. I then ended up as a stockbroker and an investment manager. And so I spent years doing that, and it was typically fueled by a sense of adversity or something. It's so interesting how that can be the pivotal thing to take you into the direction of your dreams or into your destiny. And our dad had multiple sclerosis. He was a world famous plastic surgeon. He developed steri-strips, those little bandages that instead of sutures, and he did dissolvable sutures and found the burn unit. So at the University of Virginia. So my sister and I and my brother, we grew up, you know, on a farm, but very much in his lab and in the burn unit, and really seeing the dichotomy between whether it's burns or patients or leading the way, but he had multiple sclerosis. So on top of that, he was confined to a wheelchair for 50% of his career.
Okay.
And we saw him write 3,000 peer-reviewed journal articles via dictation from a wheelchair. And so we grew up with what we would call like radical DNA. Like if he can do that, then we can do anything, right?
Yes.
And so from there, then there was, he was taken advantage of in the financial world. And since his career as far as an operating surgeon was cut short, the money, we almost lost our farm. I mean, like truly our farm. And so no one in our family, I was the oldest, knew anything about finance. So I took it upon myself to figure out our financial situation. And that's why I became a stockbroker. And it was like, I was going to do something that no one else would ever have to be in his situation or our situation. I was going to be at the cause of a solution for others. So even then, the mission was bigger than me. Mission was bigger than just my dad. And when you have that force of passion, you can push through anything. It takes that, in the belly, what you're doing matters. That you can touch other people's lives, having a legacy. Our dad used to always say, to make a difference, you have to be the difference. So that was where it started. And it went from there into, I did that for years and raised close to $1 billion in the financial world as an investment manager, and never had a business course, never had a finance course, ever.
I love that so much.
Yeah. So you just, to your viewers and your listeners, don't ever not pursue what you love because you don't know how, because it's so important, because the how will figure itself out. You can learn it. You can ask questions. You can get mentors. Now with the internet, you can, probably go to an online school for almost anything out there. So it's so important just to keep going after your passion. And so after being an investment advisor, I decided, okay, I'm going to invest in entrepreneurs. So I started doing some venture investing. And one of the investments was in a weight loss company, the 6-Day Bio Diet, which was a diet company. And the guy that was managing the company had a drug problem. And my sister started working there and she said, Liz, my paycheck just bounced. And I said, I just raised millions of dollars. How could that be? Of my money, friends, etc. So we ended up having to go and turn the company around to get our money back, and that for my investors. And that's how we actually got into the health and wellness industry. Another
through the back door.
Through the back door, and through something, I mean, we didn't know, we were on infomercials, QVC. We didn't know the first thing about any of it. But we just, went to the school of life and said, we're going to figure it out, but we know we can. And from there, we started doing skincare, and it was a business. We were actually creating products for celebrities and helping them extend their brands until it became really personal. And that's when, again, adversity became the mother of invention, when my sister developed chronic rosacea after her second child. And I developed what we all have is gravity. Like things were changing. Things didn't look the way they used to. And it was like, wow, I don't kind of remember that. Like, well, when did this all happen? But having access to some of the best scientists in the world, we decided, let's do something about it. My sister couldn't find a solution for her for her rosacea, which is red bumps and red splotchy skin. She couldn't cover it up with makeup. She couldn't, the dermatologist, the doctors, she was on 2 oral and 3 cream antibiotics. And they said she was going to be on that forever. And we said,
I hate it when the doctors say that.
Right?
Right.
Hey, forget it. That's not happening, right? When you're radical, you don't take no for an answer. You don't accept the unacceptable. You drive and you push boundaries. And that's what we decided to do. So we got back to the lab. We contacted our dad and said, okay, Dad, we've got to fix our face. And we told the chemists around the world that we had access to that we basically did like a round table and said, we want to create the strongest in skincare that can actually heal inflamed or sensitive skin, so that people, that 80% of the women out there believe they have sensitive skin, and therefore sometimes they find themselves compromising and not having the strongest, most effective product. So that's how Radical was born, because we created it for ourselves. We never intended to sell it. But then we said, well, wait a second, this can be bigger than us. You know, what if there must be a lot of us out there that are feeling this way, that's tried everything from oil of Olay, Cetaphil, all the way to La Prairie or La Mer, but this worked better than anything. My sister's face cleared up, my skin totally transformed. And we said, we really have something radical. And the name was available, which was unbelievable. And so again, another lesson in how life propels you through experiences. And when you have adversity or something gets in your way, many times it's an opportunity to hone and refine you for your next chapter.
Your inopportunity is your opportunity, and your trouble is your transportation to the next level. So many times when we're stuck in the muck and the worst thing happens to us, we may, cry about it and just be devastated. But if you realize that it's usually in the adversity that something big and bold and beautiful can come out of it, then you'll start looking for the opportunity in your inopportunity. And I love how you did that several times in your life. And your father was such a great example of continuing and not letting anything stand in the way of what he was here to do. And I mean, to me, that is just like blows me away, just hearing how he was doing that from a wheelchair, 3,000, you say 3,000 articles and just all of the things. And so having that example really set you up. But what do you think is the secret to your radical success?
Combining passion and purpose. So with Radical, it isn't just about the skin, although I know we have the strongest and best skincare out there. I mean, we even did studies comparing it to Estee Lauder Clinique, Peter Thomas Ross, Skin Medica, you name it. And we were over 1,000 times more potent in antioxidant potency. So it's the differences between us and so many other products out there. There are sweeping differences. Why? We didn't create it to keep in a profit margin. We didn't create it with anything like the end in mind. We created it in the present to be the very, very best, to use tools and access to the best to create the best and answer the challenge, which is what is causing aging, and it's free radical damage. What is our solution? It's antioxidants. But what most people don't know is that there's 10 different free radical molecules. So if an antioxidant like vitamin C or green tea or coffee, something like that, if that is your bodyguard, you can't just use one. You have to have a cocktail, an army of bodyguards. So like with our peptide serum, we have 9 antioxidants to defend against free radical. So it's like identifying what do you want, right? Just like in life, in aging, in anti-aging, what do you want? I want the strongest skincare. Well, what does that mean? That means you're gonna have to put the highest level of anti-aging reparatives in the bottle. That means it's gonna cost you a lot of money to create it. You're going to put, if a research study said, okay, it's 0.5% got this result, but 3% of this particular ingredient got this result, clinically proven. Well, if you're making it for yourself, what are you going to use? You want it now, you want it fast. and you want it to work. So we would put the 3% in.
I
So
want the best.
yeah, you want the best. We all want the best.
I want what works.
Exactly. We are like no nonsense. We want what works. And that's really where we want to see. That's why we say radical results and nothing less. But when you say like, what was the secret to radical and radical success? It's for us, it was the heart of what we were creating, right? Knowing that how people were feeling on the inside is felt by the world. So we could give them the best of the best in skincare. We could do all the clinical studies, which we did. We could grace the cover in every magazine you could think of in beauty. We could win awards, like we won the Elle Genius Award. We could do that. But after she's using radical morning and night, how's she feeling inside? Because if you're not feeling beautiful, right, which is so much what you talk about,
right?
How do we, it is an inside job. So we started thinking, well, you know what? What if we used our skincare as a metaphor for life? What if every single step of our skincare regime had a radical? So give people what they want, which is the best in anti-aging, but then deliver them what they really need to feel good, to give them the secrets, just like the ingredients to creating the best in skincare. There's many ingredients, just you love. There are many levels of ingredients. So for example, your gratitude is one of the most important ingredients to creating success and really drinking that in. So our moisturizer, when you're locking it in to love your skin, infuse yourself with gratitude. Name 5 new things, 10 new things per day that you're grateful for. So you train your brain to look for the good and not the bad. You know, when you think of your targeted serums, it's like having a GPS in your life. You have to know what you want. We were talking about this before, you know, a little earlier, where you were talking about the power of manifestation, speaking your dreams into a reality. Well, it's most people don't know what they want. And because they don't know how to get it, possibly they think, well, I'm not going to be able to have it, or there's just no way. It's not true. You have to declare you want it. Thoughts are things. They're living, breathing things that it takes you to bring it into the reality, and the universe is your
You just, for some reason, you cut out completely when you said the universe, and then it was,
it will conspire to deliver you anything and everything that which means you have to be very, very careful in speaking what you want and not speaking what you don't want. It's
oh my
like,
gosh, right?
like imagine the universe is like a genie, and every time you rub the bottle, a genie pops out. It's like, as you wish, whatever you say. So if you say, oh my God, I'm so fat. Okay, boom, as you wish. You too can be exactly what you say. You say, I'm tired. Well, you're the energy, you're fat. I'm never going to make it, or I don't know enough, or, I'm not on the in group, or whatever it is. I'm stuck. No one in my family ever had it. So why would I have it? It's all who you know. Men, a good man, you can't find a good man out there over 50, over whatever. Okay.
Oh my gosh, bad confessions.
Right? So it's like, really, as you wish. The universe is just sitting there. Really? There are no great men out there? As you wish. It's just like, think of when you're talking, just know that whatever you're saying, you are speaking and creating the world that you will be living in. So it's really important in every moment. Like today, what we're doing this moment is creating our destiny, right?
Yeah.
And when you look back, my girlfriend, Yvette Mimieux, just said, she said, when you're looking back, just look back to only see how far you've come.
I love that. That's beautiful. And a lot of what you said, it's power in the spoken word. And I just like to refer back to the Bible, ask and you shall receive. If you don't ask for what you want, how do you expect to get it? And also believe your belief is so powerful. Like how you just decided and you believed that you could do it. And then you built this huge, beautiful company for women. And I just also go by, again, my reference today is the Bible because it's just popping into my head, but to speak things that are not as though they were. And I can tell you in my own personal experience, just when I took over, a bigger gym, and I was going to do the other building next door, I just kept speaking as though it already was. And it is now. So like, just the things that you want, just show up as that person that already has them. And your words are powerful, so mind your tongue, I guess.
That's right. It is so powerful. And mentors are also so important, who you're surrounding yourself with. I think of, your time is the most scarce asset you have. Everyone only has 24 hours in a day, right? And when you start looking at time for what it is, like how many summers do we have? Right? Really, like how many summers? How many more Christmases will I spend with this person? How much longer? We don't know. Will I have that person around? So really seizing the day and the opportunity to be authentically you and living full on life, and seeing your mind as a garden, right? What are you planting in it? Do you have weeds in your garden? Are you listening to a lot of negativity around you, maybe by other people? Are you listening or watching a lot of violent things, watching the news every day, 20 times a day, repeating itself, so that you've got this consciousness? The world is very happy to keep you on the broadband channel of bad news. So that is where excellence comes from, is the power to overcome the news, overcome what people would like you to believe. Because you were saying belief is one of the most powerful tools out there. And if you don't believe in yourself, it's okay. Borrow someone else's belief in you. Borrow their belief. Associate with mentors or people that you would like to be like, that inspire you to be a better you. What version of you would need to show up to make this true, right? To live your dream. What version would I need to be the Liz that I'm divinely inspired to be? I'm perfect just the way I am, and you're perfect just the way you are. And that's the thing, like, we don't, in skincare and beauty, especially when we wrote our book, Get Radical, Secrets to Creating a Life You Love, I interviewed so many of my mentors and friends and people that made a radical difference in my life, in hopes of taking the ingredients that they shared with me that changed the trajectory of my entire business, my life, everything. And in interviewing them, I was saying, now with your podcast, now with our company, we're actually sharing, helping, and uplifting the women of tomorrow today. We're giving them access to a business, into having their own radical business. So instead of putting a percentage of all the proceeds, up to half of the revenue, to a Saks Fifth Avenue, which we were in, or a Sephora, or whatever, we're now putting it in the hearts and homes to allow women to uplevel themselves, their communities, and love themselves radically. So it's really just been such a blessing to have the opportunity, have these assets, have this beautiful vehicle that we can use as a turnkey solution to inspire and empower and mentor other women to have financial freedom and not just have the best in skin, but also have the radical rituals or principles that if incorporating that in their life, the goal setting, the visualization, meditation, prayer, quiet moment, self-care, by incorporating these things into their life, teaching them how to create goal setting, how to, visualize what you want and believe in the impossible to make the impossible possible. Like you have to believe in it to create it.
I think that most of us don't dream big enough, and it's the big dreams that really move us forward. The ones we're embarrassed to say out loud to somebody, those are the dreams you should go after. Those are the heartfelt dreams, like what you said, with where you're being driven by your passion and your purpose. And I love so much what you said about belief, because it is like, if I'm listening to the news too much, I'm going to be like, okay, I better mask up. 4 masks are not enough. I better stay in this house until I don't know how many years before I'm going to leave home. But I'm just saying, whatever you believe is so, so powerful. And if you're all bound up in fear, it's hard to move forward in belief. And I love so much of what you said, just the belief element. Like if you didn't believe in your ideas, you wouldn't have moved forward with your company to offer it to all the women out there, that they too could have radical success, and share your radical skincare with others. That's an idea, and you believed that you could do it, and you did. So I commend you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it is borrow someone else's belief if you don't believe, in yourself at the moment. And we all go through those times. I mean, believe me, I can wake up and not believe in a lot of things that I'm up to. And, the imposter syndrome where you're just like, yeah, right. It's really going to happen. I just have to say, why wouldn't it happen? It takes just as much energy to dream big as it does to dream small, just as much energy. So why not go for what you really want?
Absolutely.
Why not believe? And I mean, it only takes one. You never know. Bob Proctor always says, you never know how close you are to the finish line. You never know. I have a story that I find this amazing, even retrospect, looking back at it. But I've been, very fortunate to have some beautiful real estate and bought this little beach shack many, many years ago in Malibu on the beach, but a very, very special spot with the ocean all the way around it on both sides, 2 private beaches, just incredible. And it took it from a little beach shack to then I made it a jewel box and things that I'd collected from all over the world. All over the world actually graced the walls and the floors and the, everything. And funny enough, just another departure just for 1 second, is there's another example where I'd never designed anything before. I did my own little homes and everything, but I never had a design class or anything. And I just did it and had friends that really, they were my mentors in that. What they created was so beautiful. And so I would study what they did and how they did it. And from there, I actually opened a design company. Never had an interior design to this day class. And I actually had a design company, but then I build this beautiful place on the beach, and I'm going through a divorce, was at the time. And so we're going to sell the beach house, which was like the dream house. And so I started writing every single day. I'm so happy and grateful now that, Il Pelicana sells for $26.5 million. Il Pelicana, I just keep writing it down. And did I believe it? Everyone said, are you crazy? They said, that's like, we'll make it one of the most expensive houses in the United States. It's only like 4,000 square feet or what have you. And I said, that's what I'm doing. Because that's what it's worth. It's worth more. And I just believed it, but I kept writing it. And believe me, like the realtors said I was crazy. The ex said I was crazy. I'm just being insane. That's okay. I kept writing it down. I wrote that down every day for, I'd say 9 months, almost a year. Then we take it off the market. It's COVID. We take it off the market. I'm like, I've got to get this thing sold. So I've got, the freedom to be able to get divorced and have this thing work out gracefully. Off the market, out of the blue, a guy that had rented my house 12 years earlier for a month called and said, I see you took your house off the market. It has always been my dream house. I've loved it. My kids loved it. I will pay you every dollar of your last listing price.
Oh my gosh.
5. Yeah, every dime. So when you think about believe in the impossible, right? To make the impossible possible. Everyone, don't listen to what other people say.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The road less traveled is your road. You want to surround yourselves with those that can see what cannot be seen with the eyes today. The facts don't matter. They always change. Whatever you think is true, right? Overcoming beliefs, like you were saying, it's one of the most powerful and best things you can do. And what happens is beliefs are based on what we think are facts, right? So, I can see this glass that has ice in it. And if I said, this glass is full of hot steaming water, you'd go, no, because it's something that's solid. We believe it because we can see it. The challenge for so many, including myself, is to believe in what cannot be seen yet, to believe in what hasn't manifested yet, such that we put it through our thoughts, which are things,
right,
to action in the universe.
Yes. And it's when you do that action in the universe that things begin to unfold. It's when you state it out, you go for it, and you may be afraid, but you take the leap because you believe a little bit more than you didn't.
That's right. And just keep believing and refine your belief, right? Make it more, make it better. Like what would really excite you? Like so much that if it looked like this, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I've arrived. This is amazing. Right? And whenever you've arrived, you're still on the road to going somewhere else. So, but what would that look like for you? Because that's where that purpose comes from. And it tends to be, you have to make it bigger than yourself, right? Because that's where that drive is to keep going when you have hit a speed bump or have adversity. Like, what is this going to do? Assets, money. Well, what are they doing for me? Financial freedom, the ability to give more, do more, share more. What can I do? What impact can I have? Because, money is your friend. Money matters. And I listened to something I found fascinating the other day, that if you personify money, talk to and see money like a woman, and think about what we were saying earlier. A woman, what does she have? She's got ears. She can hear you saying whatever she's saying about you in the other room in another state. A woman can hear that, right? And if you say, oh, money doesn't matter. Imagine that's a woman. She doesn't matter. How much would she be around? Money is.
It's an energy.
It's an energy. So I thought that was really clever.
Yeah.
To see money like a woman and say, how would how would that woman want to feel? How would we want to make her feel? Because how do I want to feel? What's, the dream? Oh, loved, adored, embraced, all of those things. So it's very interesting to catch yourself and your beliefs as that they exist about money, and
Oh
make
gosh,
sure
yes.
that, yeah, you like break through that comfort zone where, money is not a bad thing. And, all the, rich people are terrible and they're, doing nothing with it, and on and on.
Mhm.
All of that doesn't support you, because if they're so terrible, then why would you want to have what they have? Right? Because you're not terrible. You don't want to be a terrible person. So it's repelling it. So it's really important in all of these areas to really watch what we're thinking and watch what we're speaking. And knowing that the one thing that none of us can replace is time. So making sure that there are real estate of time, that we don't let someone rent a piece of our house, our time, our mind, that we don't want in there, right? So it's really about
Yeah.
being much more discerning and thinking, okay, are the people that I'm surrounding myself with, do I want to be like them in 5 years? Who do I want to be in 1 year, in 2 years? And start to search out that community. And that's one of the things with Radical. It's really being a part of a community of women that are up to something, that care, and that want to uplift each and every one of us, bridge the gap for us all for a better tomorrow. And, better equals freedom.
So
Freedom,
good.
freedom to do, have, and be exactly everything that you can be.
And I love so much what you said, all of the things that you said about people's money beliefs. And I really do believe money is an energy. And if you don't believe you're worth it, or you don't believe you have value, I really see your self-worth really equating to financial worth as well. So that's why it always comes back to your self-belief, your self-care. And I just really think that self-care is self-love. When you take care of yourself because you love yourself. And I like how this is all kind of intertwined today in our message. You're all about self-care. And why do you think it's so important for women to have access to this radical skincare line and just the element of self-care?
Well, truly Radical. And of course, I've been drinking my own Kool-Aid for years and making my own concoction. But it truly is the best skincare. I mean, it was born out of the genius of getting the best in class chemists. The chemist that Lionel Divinity was one of our chemists. He was 38 years at Clarins Worldwide, head of their science and top chemist. And he helped collaborate and create Radical. We had the best. We had another 5 chemists that are that esteemed that worked on this. And we really said, look, we're not going to sell it. We'll share this with you, your wives, whomever, when we're done. And we just had it in big vats. We just had it in big, huge plastic bottles. We scooped it out, put it into little bottles that we would have, because we were always getting sent bottles because people wanted us to use it for our other skincare lines that were a business. And we would just write magic marker on it. Eye, moisturizer, serum, whatever. That's what we did. And it just transformed our skin. So I know it's the best skincare. So why should they have it? Because then they can focus on other things, not having to try all these things that don't work, consistent disappointment. And I mean, so your search is over there in skincare, but self-care, this is your life. This is your life. And what you feed yourself emotionally, intellectually, is what you are becoming every day. So you are your most precious asset. You are a precious asset to yourself and to others. But we know how when we're feeling good, right? When we're feeling confident, we walk different, there's a sparkle in our eyes. We have more to give and love and share, the better we're feeling. So not everyone had great mentors as parents. They didn't, right?
Right. Mm-mm.
Actually, most didn't. And the things that will make the difference in your life, because by the way, they're doing parenting for their first time. And they probably didn't have great, mentors as parents. So my mom used to always say, sweetheart, everyone's doing the best they can at any given moment. And if you think about it, it's true. With whatever we're given, we're doing the best we can with what we already know or what we've been taught. And what they don't teach in school is how to love yourself. They don't teach I'm enough. They don't teach goal setting, visualization. When you're visualizing or imagining something, you're not paying attention in school. Hey, quit it. You're not paying attention. Look at here. What are you, daydreaming? I mean, even from a young age, daydreaming is not a good thing because we're not paying attention. And coloring outside the lines. No, we're supposed to color inside the lines, but not when you're radical. So why do they need this? Everyone desperately needs this information. It's the difference between having a life you love and becoming everything that you can be. And you can do it. You can do it. And so it's our blessing that we want to pay it forward. We want to pay forward the learning, the love, the teaching, the mentorship, the knowledge, all that we've been given. We want to pay that forward because you can't take all this stuff with you.
That's so good. And I'm just in agreement about what you said 100%. And as I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking about how I had a dream and now it's a reality. The Sisterhood of Sweat is a community, a gym, and you have your whole message about your radical skincare because you envisioned it, you dreamed it, you believed it, and it's here. And I'm watching online my friend Lori Harder, who decided she wanted to have an alcohol company. And I just saw her toasting with her first bottle of light pink. And I love the packaging. It was this light pink and gold. And I was just like, wow, I've loved watching her journey and her dreams become a reality. So just the message then would be, if the person you want to be tomorrow, you've got to start today. You got to start today, start now, taking radical action. And I have so much loved everything. Liz, I love your message. I love your brand. I love everything that you have had to say today. And I just want to, totally commend you on just having the ingenuity and the determination to bring all of your dreams to fruition. And I know you have something for the audience today. Can you tell them about it?
I do. Well, again, part of our radical commitment to make a difference, not just in your skin, but in your life. When you go to radicalskincare.com, you can get 10% off when you're shopping using your code SWEAT10. So that is our gift to you. Plus, we will give you an electronic copy of our book, Get Radical, so that you can start getting radical and having the ingredients and tools at your fingertips right away. And we will send you a 15 ml of our youth infusion serum. So that's 5% hyaluronic acid, which is like a moisture magnet, even skin tone. You can use it on your eyes, a one and done serum, everything. So guys, they love it as well. It's awesome. So it's in giving that we receive, right? And so the more that we give, the more that we share, the more that we love, it's the flow, like you said, it's energy. It's just all energy. And so I'm so grateful that you would let us give and share with your audience, and not just our message, not just the dream, not just some of the ingredients, but our skincare, so that we can start people loving themselves immediately. And just think, every time you use your youth infusion, think about, I love me. I'm enough. I'm perfect just the way I am. So
Oh, gosh, I love that. So they're going to go to radicalskincare.com,
that's correct.
type in the code SWEAT10.
When they're checking out, and they will get the free youth infusion gift, the electronic copy of the book, and they can shop. When they shop site-wide, they're getting 10% off.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
That's forever.
And so generous, you guys. That I would hop on in a heartbeat. And the hyaluronic acid, I can totally attest to, because they use that on burn victims in the hospital,
Right.
to help them heal and regenerate their skin. And I also use that in collagen that I take. Internally, it has hyaluronic acid. So I can attest to how good that is internally as well as externally. So you want to make sure to get your product, get the book. And we just thank you so much for coming on and just sharing your light and love
this
today.
moment with you. I just love this moment. Thank you so much.
And thank you. And thanks everybody for listening to this episode of the Sisterhood of Sweat. And make sure to get SWEAT10 at radicalskincare.com. Bye everybody.